Hi everyone. Today I'm talking about how I got off of all my medications. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and I want to take it way back to when I was in elementary school even. I was diagnosed with ADD, and I wasn't put on Ritalin right away, but I was given a label that I have something wrong with me and that something needs to be fixed. So yeah, I was not an amazing student. I thrived in certain classes, and in things that weren't interesting to me, I didn't. So I was quite normal, I would say. I didn't follow orders so well. I may have been a stubborn kid, and I think of my strengths were more in socializing and art and things that weren't really valued in school. So I was told that I have ADD, and then in 8th grade I was put on Ritalin, and Ritalin is a very serious drug. The way they described it to me was that it was like I needed glasses on my brain, and that when I would put, like, it was just glasses. Taking that pill was just like someone who has astigmatism and needs glasses. Even though I was only, like 13 years old or whatever, that didn't make sense to me. But that's what they told me. And it was, this was a great doctor who was referred by my grandmother, who was a psychoanalyst, and my grandmother was on it too. And yeah, I felt it didn't feel right for me, but I had every adult and professional telling me that was required, that was necessary. So I went on Ritalin, and like my social skills went down, my art skills went down, my grades went up, I guess. But I did not feel like I was myself. And I still get that, like, it made my palms really sweaty. It made me like sweat. It made me like, oh no, I can't even explain it. It was speed. And I remember thinking, even while I was taking it, that this is like creating muscle memory, and I can't unknow this mental state, which I did not like. So I stopped. I really didn't want to take it. And then when I was transferred to a school with more learning disabilities, I had a principal. The principal actually, somehow it was worked out with like the doctor and the principal, or I don't know what, but it was out of my control, that the principal had to watch me take my Ritalin every morning and then sign my agenda, and then at lunch watch me take it and literally look under my tongue to make sure I took it, and then sign my agenda every day. So I was taking it twice a day, which is very high. And yes, so like my grades went up, but myself, my own, like everything that made me, which I wanted to be known for and celebrated for, went really, really down the drain. And then getting into like later high school, I think it was grade 10, I was put on Accutane, and I had terrible acne. Like, you couldn't see skin anywhere. It was just painful all over the sides of my face, everything. So they put me on Accutane because no one thought that it could be my diet, which was like every single day having a cheesy bagel, having like some like muffin in the morning, like sugar in the morning, and then having a cheesy bagel, and having every snack time literally I remember having Doritos and like either Three Musketeers bar or some other chocolate bar and a soft drink every single day. But they thought, we need a Band-Aid solution for her acne, so they put me on Accutane, which is incredibly strong medication. And then because I was on Accutane, they had to start me on the birth control pill even before I was actually active. So I was on a birth control pill, and that led to a lot of hormonal imbalances and emotional. Like, I was a really happy kid, and Ritalin made me, and then this made me like really, really, really low, really depressed. I felt suicidal. I only learned later that were symptoms of the Accutane. So So I struggled, like, it was just like from the age of probably like late teens to mid 20s, I was like not myself. Like I didn't know who I was anymore, because art was my thing when I was young, but then Ritalin took away my ability for art, and that's a whole other story, which I'd love to talk about, just Ritalin. But that's something I'm recovering from now and healing from, and I've done like years of healing mentally from that. But I didn't know myself anymore. And when I became a mom, I thought, fuck, I gotta like become happy, because first of all, like, I come from some mental, depression in my family, and it's not easy to be around. I didn't want to be the mom who was depressed. I couldn't get out of bed in the morning, so I was like, I need to be functional. So I went on an antidepressant, then I went on an anti-anxiety, and I went on a sleeping aid, because all these, like, through, I don't know, it was maybe the postpartum and all these things, they just triggered a whole bunch of, I had no control over my brain. Like, I felt like once you start taking medication, you have signed your brain off to the doctors to take care of. You don't feel your power. So I really didn't feel that that I was fit to be the mom I wanted to be, and I really wanted to be a force of positivity and solid, like, dependable mom. So I thought, to do my whole family a favor, I went on antidepressants. I was on them for a few years, and I never thought I'd be able to get off, because anytime I tried to get off, actually, I would have a really bad episode of depression. And with our Montreal winters here, it was I felt I needed it for life. So only until this past October, when I started to, veganism helped. I went vegan almost 3 years ago. But then what really helped was taking nutrition into my own hands. And when I started to go to another level of health, nutritionally, then I started to feel control again in my life. So yoga helped, meditation helped, and nutrition helped. So one of those, maybe, if I was to say one of those that helped the most, it was nutrition. Because that also led me then to more yoga and meditation as well, just because when I was putting in all of the nutrients that my body actually needed, you just want to do amazing. You feel amazing, and then you want to do amazing things with your body. So healing my gut was a step that I took in October. And that's when I can say I started to stand up on my own 2 feet and feel like I have control again in my life. And I started to feel control again in my brain, because I started to think clearly. Like, it was like I woke up from a really, really long coma. From the time I started medication, literally, I feel I had given my brain off to someone, and now finally I was feeling like I was attached to it again, and I was in control of it. And so I just want to say that we all have more power than we think to heal our brain. I was actually told that when your brain makes new neuro connections, and I'm not a scientist, but I was told that brains are a harder thing to heal than, like, bones, right? So I really didn't think I had the power to do it. But when I started to feel the power, I took my power, and I really, really held on to it strong. And I started to feel like really, really good, and I was smart about it. I started to really just reduce my dose, until I really realized I missed maybe a few days, and I thought, I didn't even realize I missed it. I felt amazing. And in the past, if I missed one day, I was like having an anxiety attack and having like nervous breakdowns on the floor. So my poor husband had to deal with a lot. Luckily, my kids never saw any of it. They were too young. So ever since, I've been on this path of, like, I'm just so grateful that I started to heal, like, in snap time when I needed it. And I'm grateful that I made it through those years when I really wasn't in touch with myself at all, because I had no self-worth in those times, and just by divine luck I survived those years. But I didn't feel I was in control of my life, and now I feel in control of everything. Because when you have control of your mind, it is limitless, and it's amazing and beautiful when you're like clear and happy. So I would love to just help people with this. This is my life's work, is just to show people that even if they needed medication for a certain point, there's no shame in needing medication, but I want to empower people to know that they can get off of medication naturally, that they don't need it for life, that it is not who they are, that they're not defined by their mental illness, and that we have way more potential to heal than we're ever told. So please, please reach out to me if you have any questions, or you're struggling with this yourself, or you know anyone who is. I'm in service of whoever needs to hear this, and that's all. Thank you so much.